So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final session of the main forum. I know there are many side events to follow this, but we are still standing.
Yes.
Fantastic, full of energy. I've been energized by a whole set of further sessions through today, and yourself?
Yeah. So I think I really, think that this was a really fantastic opportunity. I see many participants reach out to each other to discuss on the circular economy issues.
Yeah. In a moment, we're going to have some conversation, it being a global forum, an emphasis really on the power and the value and the need around international collaboration moving us forward. But before that, the overall theme of this forum is also about visions to 2050. We have choices to make about the future that we are going to shape. If we don't shape the future, if we're not careful, the future will shape us. So we just want to spend a few moments reflecting from the many messages we've received through the forum, from the different sessions, actually emphasizing that choice and the fact that it is in our power which future we envisage. So we're going to offer you scenarios and different visions of the future through to 2050. And there are a number of key themes that have come through around natural resources, manufacturing, transportation, services, food, living, plastics, capabilities, all sorts of issues. But it could be that we certainly need to shift away from that linear economy in which the economy is still based on fossil fuels and unsustainable extraction of natural resources. An economy where products and materials are mainly used once before ending up in landfills. Production processes that are optimized to work in only one direction, from extraction to consumption and disposal. And where once lush forests and fertile lands lay barren and polluted. Or we have the possibility of a vision for the future with a circular economy where products are designed with care, longevity, and their next life cycle in mind. Used products gain value by 3R approaches: upcycling, upgrades, and repairs. Industries, such as manufacturing and agriculture, work in closed loops and no longer produce unnecessary byproducts. Global value chains have gone through the fourth industrial revolution and are optimized with digital technologies and automation. Waste, as we know it, is a thing of the past. It is recognized as raw material and energy. We have recognized the limited amount of virgin natural resources, and the economy has been adapted to ecological planetary boundaries. Investments are directed into sustainable businesses.
Maybe the second topic and sector that we could consider in light of the circular economy is transportation and services. We need to shift away from the linear economy in which the vehicle keep roads congested as they mostly carry one person. Traffic emission from gas guzzled make breathing in urban centers difficult. Autonomous electric vehicles remain luxury product, and the majority of people cannot afford it. Public transport is expensive, and all transport networks are decaying. But at its forum, we have envisioned a future circular economy in which on-demand services with non-polluting innovative vehicles provide easy access and high-quality transportation and a more convenient life. High-speed connectivity and seamless digital communication enable us to effectively utilize mobility services without having to own assets. New materials and biochemicals enable production of resource-efficient vehicles, fuels, and transportation infrastructures.
And there's a whole set of issues about food and living, and our need to shift away from a linear economy in which the burning of fossil fuels to provide energy for living continues to accelerate global warming, making even larger areas of the planet inhabitable. The attempt to increase the production of food to meet the demands of the global population, combined with uneven weather cycles, has led to severe soil erosion and diminishing crop returns. Poorer nations see mass famine unlike ever before. Construction wastes natural resources, and areas are not designed for reuse. Rather, they are built from the most inexpensive yet carbon-intensive materials. And yet at this forum, we've envisioned a future circular economy in which people live in areas which produce, conserve, and consume their own renewable energy. Communal living isn't just a trend, but the new normal way of life. There is local and plentiful food for all, with efficient urban and rural biocycles and innovative production methods. Soils are kept fertile naturally. Regionally abundant, renewable materials are used for modular construction alongside reusable concrete, aluminium, and steel that's produced in low-carbon closed loops.
The fourth issue and theme that plastic, that we had many discussing on this issue, we need to shift away from a linear economy in which the growth of plastics demand is met by increased use of non-renewable fossil resources. Plastics-based products such as container and packaging continue to be designed for single use without consideration of what happened to them afterward. Our oceans have become full of plastics and free of life. Landfills continue to grow with piles of garbage spoiling land areas. At this forum, we have envisioned a future circular economy in which there is wider acceptance of reuse as a major consumption behavior. Plastics are upcycled at the end of their life, and the production is based on recycled raw materials instead of virgin fossil resources. We have shifted to the use of sustainable alternatives to plastics, such as bio-based materials. Our ocean and land areas are naturally clean environment free of plastic waste.
And finally, people and capabilities. We need to shift away from a linear economy in which we face broad unemployment and lost human capital due to redundant skills and knowledge, where education is mainly a privilege of the wealthy and produces mostly disciplines that have limited capabilities to challenge existing structures of value creation. The poor are uneducated, are considered unproductive for society, and face ever-increasing discrimination by the wealthy and educated. And yet at this forum we have envisaged a future circular economy in which education is understood as lifelong learning journeys of learning and re-education. Societies fully recognize the value of human skills and capabilities. A circular economy creates jobs with a deeper purpose than just personal income. Schools and other institutions, educational institutions, are focused on creating and amplifying a diverse range of knowledge and sense of value, such as the Motainai, mind for all people in all professions. Peer-to-peer and cross-disciplinary learning methods have become common, recognized and supported by public and private sectors. stronger financing and support for innovation and R&D are essential approaches to develop societal capital. So there are some thoughts, both about the course that we seem currently on and that shift to a vision for a circular economy. You will have your own examples of what you feel is current, unsustainable, and concerning as we move into the future. You will have your own thoughts about that better, more sustainable, more circular future. But we hope that this stimulates your thinking, that it is not a given that the circular economy will be upon us and all will be good. It's something we have to strive for. And in this last session, one of the things we wanted to emphasize was that journey towards circularity, as well as being what we do locally, is about making relationships and connections internationally. And we now have a number of speakers who are just going to offer some thoughts on that particular agenda, and then we will open up some conversation.
So, as Peter mentioned, that this session is focused on the future vision and international cooperation. Now we have a high-level panelist, especially working at the level of European and international level. So, as a first speaker, I'd like to invite Dr. Janes Potniks, co-chair, as you know, that the UNEP International Resource Panel. I think he, provide us a future vision and also the possibility of the way forward. So you have a floor.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great opportunity to be able to address you. So I will try quickly to answer three questions. Why we need more global cooperation? What is the context of the link with the Sustainable Development Goals? And then finally, what would be my vision? Which are the things which we have to address? Why? For the first time in human history, we face the emergence of a single, tightly coupled human socio-ecological system of planetary scope. We are more interconnected and interdependent than ever. My father was still using a horse to travel to the nearest town 20 kilometers from my birthplace. And it took him almost the same as it took me coming to Yokohama. The only difference was that my major worry is jet lag, and his major worry was probably only the horse leg. Club of Rome defined our new reality in a very convincing way. We have moved from empty world, where labor and infrastructure were the limiting factors of human well-being, to the full world, where natural resources and environmental things are limiting factors of the human well-being. 50 years ago, we have seen their visionary limits to growth report. What we are seeing today, it's growth of limits. Also, the messages emerging from the World Economic Forum 2018 were clear. The challenge seems not to be anymore one of the inadequate scientific evidence, but rather one of cooperation and implementation. Complexity and scale of these challenges requires new forms of collaboration and more systemic approaches. If we look now to the relation of the circular economy to the SDGs, SDGs are a new global societal contract to sustain human development and well-being. Sustainable consumption and production is the unavoidable ingredient to deliver SDGs, and circular economy is the most important instrument leading to sustainable consumption and production. There is nothing more to add. We have to make sure that the circular economy agenda will be present not only on UNEA, focusing on environmental agenda, but also at high-level political forum and United Nations General Assembly. And finally, and probably the most important, how do I see how we could and should strengthen the global cooperation? First, we should broaden the ownership of the circular economy idea by partnering with those dealing with climate change, bioeconomy, health, digital transformation, and I could continue, through building new coalitions for change. In practice, we would need to exploit all the possibilities of linking circular economy to already existing international initiatives, conventions, in particular those around the climate change and biodiversity laws. With my IRP hat, that would mean bringing closer also the science policy interface bodies, IPPC, IPBS, and IRP. Then, broaden the coalition of UN bodies around circular economy. UNEP, WHO, UNDP, UNIDO, UNCTAD would be first logical choices. A lot of knowledge has already been created in various circular economy-related circles, and we should figure out how to organize ourselves to use it more efficiently. Specific attention should be given to least developed countries. Their problems are different, and solutions have to be specific. We need to be able to show how transitions can work specifically for developing countries and resource exporters. What does leapfrogging to a circular economy means to them? In that context, we should in particular focus on social aspects of the circular economy processes, employment, inclusiveness, local benefits, which are crucial for better acceptance of the circular economy. It should be understood that circular economy is not another Western type of model which we are trying to expand to protect our own competitiveness and interests. Transition to a circular economy will inevitably lead also to some who will lose in transition. Many of them have in the past invested in good faith, not being aware of negative side effects of their activities. We have to help them with public support and make sure that the transition will be fair and inclusive. We also have to work on an agreement on cross-cutting key importance of natural resource use for all levels of human well-being. This could potentially be organized in a form of UN Convention for Natural Resource Management. I'm not saying we should establish it, but we should carefully exploit also this option. This could help bringing more coherence in circular economy developments and help establish necessary global standards, enabling better development of circular economy concept also in international trade. It could also be helpful in establishing the circular economy indicators to measure and follow the progress. We should continue working actively to bring together the leading business actors. Many businesses we work with and stakeholders that we have interviewed also in our IRP consultation processes express that they are not afraid of more regulation, but of unfairness, free riders, and uncertainty risks. If we make policies fair, consistent, reliable, we can work together across policy and business for a real transition. In summary, in the 21st century, we do not have anymore the luxury of thinking and acting based on short-term logic and interests. Challenges we are collectively facing are calling for redefining sovereignty, which means we need more and true collaboration at all levels. We need to introduce circularity even in the global governance and replace or upgrade the concept of owing sovereignty by introducing more of a sharing sovereignty. I'm afraid that the alternative of not doing this, it's more conflicts and wars. Changing existing production and consumption model to a more sustainable one is unavoidable. There is no reasonable alternative. And if somebody lacks the sense of urgency, he or she should basically change the planet. Let me close by quoting Professor Guy McPherson, who said, "If you think that economy is more important than the environment," I would add, and health, then try holding your breath while counting your money. Dear friends, In 2014, circular economy was still a dream of few. Today, it is the reality of many. Thank you for making it real, and thank you for your attention.
Yanis, thank you so much. Just when I think I've caught up with the agenda and where we're at, you offer us new ambition for the future. And for me, it's a privilege to share this platform with a gentleman who is Environment Commissioner in the European Commission, was really, I was going to say the godfather, but it hasn't been going long enough for that to be the godfather, the creator, the visionary that has really got the circular economy as a concept, as an idea, to the reality it is today. So I thank you for all you've done, and it's extraordinary how this has captured imagination and action in such a short space of time. And our conversation is partly about how we take that to the next level, and we'll develop that further. The current reins in the European Commission are being very much taken forward with the circular economy package among a whole range of issues, and the European frameworks are really showing some leadership in that direction, and to offer us some thoughts about the European project as it relates to circular economy, but also how that connects into global alliances. Delighted to welcome to the platform the Director General for DG Environment, a friend to the circular economy cause. Please welcome Daniel Calleja.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. It is a great pleasure to be here, and I would like to say how pleased we are on the European Commission to share with you some thoughts in this moment, in this grand finale, when we are concluding what have been two very useful, two very intense days of reflection on the circular economy. And I would like to thank Sitra, the Japanese government, the Finnish ministry, and all the participants for the excellent organization of this event. I think our discussions over these 2 days confirm the importance and the magnitude of the challenges we are facing. And Janez Potočnik was very clearly illustrating the challenges and the choices which we will have to make. The transition to a low-carbon, resilient circular economy is now underway. And the good news is that the international community has decided to fix an agenda in order to move forward. The 2030 Sustainable Development Goals Agenda, the Paris Agreement, the Circular Economy Strategy show the way forward. It is possible to go towards this society of the future. It is possible to achieve these goals, but we will need to change the way we produce, the way we consume, the way we conduct our economies and our daily lives in this planet. And as it has been said, this is an absolute necessity. There is no other alternative. But, as we have also seen during these 2 days, this can also be a great opportunity. A great opportunity because we can transform environmental issues into societal and economic opportunities for change. Many measures have been discussed: the role of regulation, the importance of cooperation and partnership, the critical importance also of incentives, economic instruments, developing public-private partnerships, and the key role of education. I would like, on behalf of the European Union, who has decided to take the lead in this area with our Circular Economy Action Plan, with our plastic strategy, with our work on eco-design, on green public procurement, on all the areas of the economic cycle, I would like to propose 5 ways to move forward. First of all, we need to be more systemic. We need to connect the dots. Everything is interrelated. We cannot see the SDGs, the Paris Agreement, the biodiversity strategy in an isolated way, because we will only succeed if we are able to find greater coherence between our policies and we can enhance interaction in all areas. Sustainable production and consumption, smart and sustainable mobility, sustainable energy, reform of agriculture, new governance for oceans, sustainable cities, all these things need to work in an interconnected way. It will not be possible to succeed if we do not seek greater coherence in this area. My second proposal is we need to develop a more convincing narrative. The younger generations are more than ever conscious of the challenge, and they cannot wait. They call us to act. Education is critical, and it is possible to do better. When you see the impact of the plastics initiative, when you see this file that 2 years ago was virtually not existing, and the level of concern, the number of measures, the degree of awareness, the initiatives that we have been discussing here, it is possible to create greater awareness and face the challenges of communication in a more effective way. My third proposal is we need to work together better using the right tools. And here I would like to stress the importance of partnership. Partnership between the member states, the business community, the regions, the cities, the social partners, individual citizens. Each and every one of us has to be part of the solution using the right tools. Regulation, yes. Innovation, yes. Support through specific programs, yes. But we have to find the right mix between the different instruments to be able to succeed. My fourth point is global solutions. And here is where the international community needs to be, as Janez Potocnik was saying, better integrated. We need to bring all together. The environment is global, and we need stronger action. The SDG agenda, the UNEA4 Assembly, G7, G20, and all the action which we are promoting for developing countries. All this has to be developed, I think, in a framework of greater global cooperation. My final point is, it has also been said, there is a sense of urgency. We should not be afraid to act. Things will not happen without leadership, and leadership entails responsibility. Our worst enemy is self-doubt. Losing confidence is self-defeating. Solutions exist, but we need to move out of our comfort zone to make them happen. We need to act, and we need to act fast to implement our policies to deliver our vision. And I would like to conclude also with a quotation. And the quote comes from Nelson Mandela, one of the greatest leaders ever, who used to say, "Action without vision is only passing time. Vision without action is merely daydreaming. But vision with action can actually change the world. If we move forward together with confidence, we can actually make things happen and change the world." Thank you.
So thank you, Director General Calleja. So I think you made a really insightful suggestion on the 5 way forward, and which include the partnership and also the global cooperation. I think I look forward to having a more deep discussion in the panel. Also, I think I'm quite certain that the whole audience, they recognize that the EU and its member states is a very powerful partner for people and for countries who wish to seek the circular economy. So thank you very much. So we have then now the third speaker. Third speaker is the Deputy Director General Hiroshi Kuniyoshi of UNIDO. He is speaking of, he is going to suggest again the way forward and the future vision, especially at the international level. So you have the floor.
Thank you, Takamura-san. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to address this forum on behalf of the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, to share with you our vision of an inclusive and global circular economy. As we are seeing today, the concept of circular economy is finding ever greater acceptance as a policy principle in different economies around the world. While the principles of circular economy have been in use for many years in countries such as Japan, China, the Netherlands, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom, the near universal recognition of the circular economy's merits is only a recent development. However well-intentioned the pursuit of a circular economy by one country may be, it can inadvertently create adverse knock-on effects internationally that can and must be avoided. This is particularly the case when we speak of developing countries and transitional economies. The need for international cooperation is therefore acute. We at UNIDO recognize the significant development value of circular economy and believe that all nations should be able to participate equally. The development of a globally coherent approach to circular economy starts with industry. Working closely with manufacturing industries, in particular with SMEs in developing and transitional economies, we see the immense potential for the industrial sector to become a driver of a global circular economy. For nearly 50 years now, UNIDO has, through our portfolio of environment and energy-related projects, been developing the building blocks of circular economy around the world. Today, we ensure that manufacturers of the global south can positively contribute to and benefit from new global supply chains and trade systems that are a product of the increasing adoption of the circular economy. UNIDO sees it as critically important to promote international cooperation on circular economy. The government of Japan's imminent presidency of the G20 is a chance for sharing and for leading global economies to make further progress on a worldwide scale in the field of resource efficiency, which was started by Germany as a G20 presidency in 2017. Yet, even the world's largest economies cannot and should not do it alone. Engaging in circular economy is not a luxury for few, but rather a necessity and a significant opportunity for the many. In UNIDO's view, effective international cooperation can be brought about through a transparent and open exchange of ambitions, targets, methods, and schedules of nations seeking to engage in circular economy. This would be bolstered by a targeted exchange of experience, expertise, and technology. In this context, it is important that countries claim national ownership of the concept and are free to adapt the circular economy approach to their individual needs and circumstances. One of the essential elements of circular economy is to find expression in national economic policies in different countries around the world and demonstrate that the concept lends itself well to local adaptation. UNIDO's aim is therefore to help identify complementarities and ensure compatibility amongst highly diversified approaches to the adoption of circular economy globally. This will ensure that circular economy does not end up increasing or creating new inequalities, but that it instead remains a force for positive change in the world. UNIDO's member states have requested the organization to play a leading role in driving international cooperation and dialogue on circular economy in its link to both industry and policy. This is a role we at UNIDO take very seriously, and we count on our partners and on your cooperation going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, all of you, for those powerful contributions and what I think are some reinforcing and resonating themes, ones which I would subscribe to. We just have a few moments for some conversation. And I suppose we'd just like to perhaps open one theme and get your comments on this. We hear loud and clear, collaboration, the systemic approach, partnership, whether it's within UN institutions, whether it's different sectors. Just interested from a practical point of view, these feel uncomfortable times to be talking about global agreements, partnerships, collaboration. There are rough waters around the whole concept of global trade. There seems to be the politics of a different sort that are emerging around at the moment. I just wonder, I think you said keep a hold on the tiller and a confidence about moving forward. I just would like to get some comments from you about the possibility and the practicality of cementing some of these alliances at a time when it feels as an uncomfortable world to be doing it in. So I wonder whether, Yanis, initially, whether you would like to just comment that ambitious agenda that you set forward, is that a realistic, ambitious agenda or a hope?
It is definitely ambitious. If it's realistic, it's up to be seen. But to be frank, I just know that the current levels of cooperation are not sufficient. Right. And if somebody gives me better ways of going ahead, I'm absolutely ready to listen. But you know, you are saying we are living in uncomfortable times. But those times are uncomfortable in many ways. And while we see part of uncomfortable things we don't want, we pretty much ignore the other part of uncomfortable things. And I think it's really important to understand that alternatives, when we see what is happening, particularly in the context of environmental challenges, are simply such that they are not existing. And I would urge everybody in that context that we seriously think through what can we collectively do, because as I said, I'm sincerely worried that if we don't go in that way, what are the alternatives? You know, the project where we redefine seriously sovereignty, we know very well, it's called European Union. Because some decades ago, we tried to avoid the wars and we raised sovereignty on many issues on the European Union level. We are seeing today some unfortunate developments in Europe. But still, all in all, the project itself was extremely successful if we look to the last 70 years. But the idea was pretty much the same at that time, so that we would avoid conflicts and wars. And I'm afraid that today the global society, being so interconnected, interdependent, being much more, the level of responsibility which we are bearing with us, it's much, much bigger than it was just a generation or two ago. So I'm many times saying that we humans are supposed to be intelligent, and it's high time to prove it.
I wonder, Daniel, whether you'd like to add. I mean, you're here as part of reaching out and making some of those global connections. Are you seeing an appetite for those alliances that are really going to take us to the next stage?
Well, I would like to say that precisely because we have such great challenges ahead of us, we need to intensify international cooperation. We will not succeed if we don't take stronger action globally. And we have a much better basis of departure than, for example, 3 years ago, where we did not have the Sustainable Development Goals agenda, where the Paris Agreement had not been signed, where the circular economy strategy had not even been proposed. So I think we have the basis on which we can build the work. Now, what we have to do is to work at all levels. The traditional international organizations have to continue developing their work. Europe supports, and it is in our genes, multilateralism, rules-based trade system, and also global approach to global environmental problems. But it will not be enough with just the traditional work, with the traditional work of the international organizations. We need to intensify bilateral relations. Tomorrow we will be engaging with Japan in a very fruitful bilateral dialogue. We are conducting here a circular economy mission with European companies who are engaging, who are working, who are finding opportunities. So we need to explore different ways, different governance levels, even in countries which may have doubts or which may be reluctant to multilateralism. When you look at the situation at the level of the operators, at the level of the business, at the level of the society, we see a completely different picture. And there are great opportunities for cooperation. The same with the cities. Cities have a key role to play to implement the solutions. And we have also developed new ideas, the Covenant of Mayors, network of green cities. I think there are very interesting new platforms for governance which are being created, and they are being created because they respond to a need. And the need is that we have to change the way we work, the way we consume, the way we produce, and the way we conduct our living in order to meet the challenges of the future.
Thank you. And I wonder whether, Hiroshi, you have a comment on this appetite for new alliances, for reinforcing. In particular, there was a challenge about UN institutions and how they may connect more effectively around these systemic agendas.
As you know, that the UNIDO, our organization is the United Nations Specialized Agency. But anyway, the other, say, United Nations agency, we are meant to work together with member states. And basically, our any work is always based on the partnerships with the donors or recipient countries or industries, NGOs, everywhere. And so we have been, say, experienced this kind of, say, partnerships for more than 50 years. And in this area of circular economy or environment-related activities, also almost 50 years. And we know that sometimes this partnership might be difficult, but if we have some certain issues to be solved or challenges that everybody share that this is a challenge for us, we can relatively easily to form the partnerships to solve that problems. Even if there is some kind of political, say, difficulties or something, we have been implementing the concrete project to solve the problem. So I think that we have the basis of partnership network to solve this, say, to promote, to enhance our activities of our circular economy further. But perhaps at the same time, this circular economy should be revisited in the sense that our partnership is really fit for this purpose. And then if it's necessary, we can rearrange the partnership or the strength further the partnerships and networks. But anyway, I believe that the world, the countries are ready to work together. And UNIDO is ready to support that member states.
Right.
Thank you.
Jens, did you just want to come in on that?
Yeah, just one sentence. Uncomfortable ideas are normally ahead of time, but you don't move ahead if you don't have uncomfortable ideas. And by the way, 4 years ago, only 4 years ago, circular economy was uncomfortable idea. And look now to the room where we are.
Yukari,
Yeah, I have a very insightful, the speech from you all, so that I actually have two questions, but if you select one of them, or maybe both, one question is actually, I have impression that you all, emphasize that the circular economy, transition to circular economy to be fair, and globally, and ensuring the equality. What's a key element or key point to ensure such kind of fair transition to the circular economy? That is my first question. The second question may be I think the next year our government, Japanese government, host G20. So that do you have any specific expectation in the context of circular economy? So that's my second question. You can select one of them or both.
And you can select who goes first as well.
So
Thank you.
I will go first. I will answer both.
Yeah.
First of all, how do we ensure that the transition is fair and inclusive? We have to avoid leaving people behind. This is obvious. Otherwise, it would not be fair and inclusive. And how do we do it? I think we need to support more SMEs. SMEs are the life and blood of the economy in Europe and across the world. They have a role to play. And we need to make clear that the circular economy is an opportunity for them, and also for many young people, for many entrepreneurs, for many startups, which can be built along circular economy solutions. So I think it is just one area, but I think it's extremely important. The second question, I have forgotten.
G20.
Oh, yes. Well, I think there are many topics for the G20 or for the next session of circular economy. For the G20?
G20.
Well, for the G20, we count a lot on Japan to bring very important issues on the table. The plastic strategy, fighting marine litter, innovation and the possibilities of innovation to develop more circularity, more circular economy solutions, the links between climate change, biodiversity, and circular economy. I think this is extremely important. I stop there because the G20 may last too long.
Yes?
Yeah? Okay. Thank you. So I also respond to both questions, but basically the answers are the same direction for both of them. So you talked about how we can make sure the fairness of the transition, and as I told you that, as I said in the speech, in my view, or in our view, as a UNIDO, the most important point is how to include developing countries. Now, as we talked about the transition, that the nature of the economy, the world economy is changing and should be changing in line with this toward the circular economy, and it is changing, and that means the developing countries or economies in transition as well might face the risk that they are left behind. And we need to make sure that this circular economy movement should be the real global movement of the circular economy. And for the G20s, basically the same answers. So G20 is a leaders of the world economy. And these leaders are responsible for the world economy. That means we have to think in the G20 setup how to make sure that this movement is a real global move. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Dr. Potnik?
Thank you. I have already said, I will just go on this fairness. I have already said that special attention should be given to least developed countries. And I will not go further because I have said some additional things already before. What I have learned also is that very likely today we are living in a world where circular economy genie is out of the bottle, at least for the major business sectors. Major companies and are actually those who are in today's world thinking most strategically. So I see the lack of strategic thinking in all public institutions, including the banking sector, by the way, or financial sector. And I see a lack of fundamental honesty how those incentives which are coming from the public sector are transferred to support the transition. We talk a lot about that transition, but in reality, in many cases, we act in different direction. And finally, you know, if you are in a private sector where you see that you have the problem, don't deny them, because denial will actually destroy you. You have to admit that you have them, but on the other hand, we have to understand that many of those decisions, as I mentioned before, were done in good faith, and that those people need and deserve our attention and support if we want the transition to be really fair.
I just wondered, we've only got a few moments, but one of the conversations we had this morning around lifestyles and the issue of consumption and production, and one of the narratives of the circular economy is it's an economy and it creates huge opportunities for business and for growth, more stuff, but stuff that's circulating in a circular way, so it kind of feels good. I just wondered, at some point in the conversation, do we need to pause for thought that an unfettered circular economy that is just circulating more and more stuff to our 7.6 and growing population, is that perfectly possible? Or do we have to have somehow a narrative about enough and what stuff we actually need rather than we could have? Or am I just being a killjoy and we should just go for it and everything will be circular? Who wants to just reflect on that challenge?
I would say that behind the concept of the circular economy, we are looking primarily at resource efficiency. And if we agree that the linear model is no longer viable because we cannot continue producing, consuming, and throwing away finite resources, the longer we maintain the resources in the value chain, the longer we make them circulate, the longer we maximize the resources, and the more that we minimize waste, and if we can go to a zero-waste society, as we have been discussing, even better, I think this is the good way forward. Of course, there are limits to the level of circularity, but we don't have many more good ideas to live in a planet with limited resources and keep continuing with the trends that we are seeing. So when you were talking about circulation and circulation, we have to, I would say, yes, of resources. And the more we can make them rest safely in the value chain, the better.
Okay. Does anyone else want to just comment on that? Yanis?
Yeah, just to be clear, in the circular economy, reduce should always be the first option. So I'm always trying to say that recycling is the worst of the good. But when you are recycling, you are already recycling something which you have used. So I think we always have to stimulate the development which would go in that direction. Second, it's it's not very productive to approach a consumer, we will take you that. Because when we get used to something, it's not good if somebody wants to take from us. He will not see a lot of sympathies. So you actually need to think about the alternatives and the ways which many times are in essence really disburdening consumer. If you would think just of the, I don't know, I have used many times the light bulb. So I don't want light bulb, I want light, because light bulb is making my life complicated, you know. If you can provide me light as a service, and of course this is totally different incentive for the producer, because he wants to produce then a light bulb which lasts as long as possible, and not the opposite. And the third issue which I would like to mention is, you know, the world is changing. The awareness of the population, in particular the young generation, it's driving us a bit in a different direction than we were used to. We were quite careless. We were quite indebting our future generations. And this is changing. And if we don't see that, then we will be changed. So it's really important that we continue with strengthening education, including the education of the older generations by the young generations.
Right. And Hiroshi, maybe just a brief word on this one. Yeah.
So basically, I was going to say the same thing of the first point of Yannis mentioned, that talking about circularity, we tend to think the circularity. But the actual, say, circular economy, in this concept, we are also thinking the reducing. And if we circulate everything, but this circular is something like quite big amount of circular, it's not really good. So we have to think, say, what is the most, the best for the society.
Right.
Thank you.
Yukari, we could keep this conversation going for hours, couldn't we? But I think we need to ask just a one-liner. There were 1,000, there's nearly 1,000 participants in this conference at the moment. If you just had one sentence, one thought, above all, as people go back to their areas of influence, with a feeling of resolve, what would that one piece of advice or one sentence be? And it is a one sentence, a sound bite to go away with. Who would like to offer one?
Mine is very easy. See you in Finland.
Thank you. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Daniel.
I will use one word, no, two words if I'm allowed.
Yeah.
One is opportunity, and the other is partnership.
Right. Fantastic. And finally.
Circularity, or circular economy is for all the countries and all the people, including those in developing countries.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, our panel, thank you very much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
ありがとうございます。So it is really stimulating discussion among the panelists. So thank you very much indeed. So what is crystal clear, at least, is that the strengthening our alliance and partnership is a key to achieve or realize the circular economy, and also to ensure the transition to be fair and inclusiveness. I think it's a quite important message from the panelists. So now I move on to the last part of this closing session. That is we invite the two host countries to present the WCEF 2018 key outcome. So then I'd like to invite our State Minister, Tsukasa Akimoto, Ministry of the Environment in Japan, to the podium to make his speech. 秋元司環境副大臣にご登壇いただいてお話をいただきます。どうぞ。
ご紹介をいただきました観光省の副大臣を務めております秋元司でございます。 世界各国の皆様、まずはこの2日間にわたりまして、世界循環経済フォーラムにご参加いただきまして、本当にありがとうございました。特に各セッションにおいて登壇された方々に、政府、産業界、そして市民団体、国際機関等、それぞれの立場から循環経済について積極的にご議論いただきました。改めて感謝申し上げます。ありがとうございました。さて、世界の人口は2050年には98億人に達すると予想されております。20世紀型の大量生産、大量消費、そして大量廃棄の経済モデルはもはや持続可能とは言えません。このままでは天然資源が枯渇をし、一方で廃棄物の大量発生による環境汚染が深刻になってまいります。気候変動という人類共通の課題にも対応していく必要があります。このような世界的な課題解決には、資源を廃棄するのではなく、長く繰り返し使い続けるループを作る循環経済の移行が不可欠であります。このフォーラムを通しまして、参加者の皆様には、循環経済に関するさまざまな素晴らしい事例や技術、イノベーション、さらには将来我々が目指すべき経済社会のイメージを共有できたと思っております。我々が進んでいく道を間違いなければ、世界は決して暗くありません。このフォーラムが示し、そして示し続ける光に向かって、世界の皆様と共に歩み進めていきたい。そして日本はそれをリードする決意であります。それでは我々が目指すべき経済、社会を実現していくには、どのような行動が必要なのでしょうか。この2日間のフォーラムで議論を踏まえ、私から今後目指すべき3つの行動を提言をさせていただきたいと思います。1つ目の提言は、国、企業、市民団体、個人等のあらゆる主体がそれぞれの役割に応じて具体的なゴールを設定し、それを共有し、行動することであります。循環経済に転換するというビジョンを共有し、そこに向かって歩みを進めるためには、具体的な目標が必要不可欠です。国や地域、企業の規模などによって、それぞれの目標レベルは異なるかもしれません。しかし、全員が循環経済というキーワードを意識し、同じ方向を向き、自分たちの経済、社会における役割を理解した上で、目標を設定し、行動を起こすことが重要であります。我が国は、石油や鉱物などの天然資源に恵まれず、また、利用可能な土地も狭いという制約がある中、資源を有効的に利用し、資源の循環利用を推進し、廃棄物の排出量を可能な限り低減しつつ、経済成長を実現してまいりました。特に2003年からは、循環型社会形成推進基本計画に基づき、資源生産、循環利用率、そして最終処分量の3つを指標として、その数値目標を設定し、国全体で循環経済への移行を目指しているところであります。これらの指標や目標については、さまざまな国、地域、企業でも有効な考え方であると考えられております。各国それぞれの指標、目標について意見交換し、できるだけ共通の指標、目標を目指していきながら、お互いの進歩や好事例を共有できることを提案をいたしたいと思います。世界循環経済フォーラムは、国際的な プラットフォームとして各主体の目標やその目標に基づく取り組みを共有する場としても有効に機能するものと考えております。第2の提言は、循環経済の構築に向けて国際的な機運を高めるムーブメントを起こすことであります。世界循環経済フォーラムを通してご参加いただいた皆様には、循環経済への移行の必要性を深く理解していただいたと思います。ただし、ロックインされた大量生産、大量消費、大量廃棄の経済モデルを脱し、新たな経済社会を構築するには、人類一人一人が手を取り合い、大きなムーブメントを作ることで、循環経済の移行を加速化していくことが重要となります。本フォーラムにおける議論の中でも、循環経済に向けた教育の重要性が強調されました。循環経済への移行への必要性について、一人一人が理解をし、具体的な行動につなげていくためにも、効果的な教育、復旧啓発活動を推進していくことも重要であります。世界的な取り組みについて、アイデアを探っていくべきだと考えております。その一つとして、我々としては、世界循環経済の日、これを制定していきたいと思っておりますが、会場の皆様、いかがでしょうか。ありがとうございます。日本としては、しっかりと提案をしていきたい、その思いでございます。我が国としても、世界循環経済フォーラムで得られた成果を、アジア太平洋 3R 推進フォーラム、国際環境総会、さらには我が国が来年、議長国を務めることになります D20 の場でしっかりと発信し、循環経済の構築に向けたムーブメントを引き起こすべく、強いリーダーシップを発揮してまいりたいと思います。第3の提言は、循環経済の構築に向けて、官民連携により、公的セクター、民間セクター、双方に行動を拡大していくことであります。この2日間のフォーラムで、多くの先進的な企業の皆様から、新しいビジネスモデルやイノベーションについて、幅広く情報を共有いただきました。循環経済がさらなる経済成長の種となっていることを、私たちは共通認識としてしました。循環経済の移行は、各国政府が旗を振るだけではなく、官民連携のもと、民間の活力を生かし、民間の自発的な行動を促していくことが鍵となります。近年、世界全体で気候変動への脅威や SDGs の達成、これらの需要に対する認識が深まり、金融界を中心に ESG 投資の動きが高まってまいりました。この動きを循環経済の構築にもつなげていくことが重要であると考えます。循環経済への移行に向けた取り組みをいち早く進めた企業は、競争力を高め、長期的にも市場においてもアドバンテージを持ちますが、その移行を後押しすることが重要であります。循環経済に合致したビジネスを展開している企業が、市場において正当に評価される、各企業がどれだけ循環経済に合致しているか、その情報を積極的に開示することで、投資が呼び込まれる、このような金融の流れを促す仕組みが必要であると考えております。それには、民間企業の優れた取り組みの見える化が不可欠となります。我が国では、民間企業や個人のワンウェイプラスチックの排出抑制や分別回収の徹底など、優れた取り組みを国内外に発信するプラスチックスマートキャンペーン、これを 開始を始めました。ちなみにこれがロゴのマークであります。このような我が国の民間企業の取り組みを世界経済フォーラムなどの官民連携イニシアチブである循環経済加速化プラットフォーム、これとつなぎ、広く世界に知見を共有いたします。このような官民連携の取り組みを通して、公的セクター、民間セクター、それぞれが自らの役割を理解し、循環経済の構築に向けた良いリサイクルを回していきたい。世界循環経済フォーラムは、そのような役割も担っていると考えております。皆さん、今申し上げた3つの提言が世界全体で循環経済に向かっていくための羅針盤となることを私は期待をしております。ただし、この羅針盤をもとに具体的な航路を描き、安全な航海を実現するには、参加者の皆様の行動がいかに伸びていくか、これにかかっております。この2日間のフォーラムは確かな道筋を与えてくれましたが、これは循環経済の移行の旅の始まりに過ぎません。日本はこれからもフィンランドと連携し、国際環境総会や G20 に本フォーラムの成果をインプットし、循環経済の歩みをリードしていく決議であります。来年のヘルシンキで開催される世界循環経済フォーラム2019、さらなる成功を記念し、私の最後のスピーチとさせていただきます。2日間ありがとうございました。
どうもありがとうございました。
Wow, this is clearly not the end of a conversation. This is start of new conversations and action. And I'll be there on World Circular Economy Day. We leave the platform finally to the organization that was the visionary, the instigator of the concept of the World Circular Forum. CITRA, the Innovation Fund, you probably can't believe what you have unleashed when you started this, and it's appropriately at the end of this phase of the second World Circular Economy Forum that we leave the platform to you through its director, Mari Pansar of CITRA, to offer some final words.
State Minister Akimoto, ladies and gentlemen, dear participants and friends. I am humbled by all the great people the circular economy attracted to join us for the second World Circular Economy Forum, and this time in Japan at Yokohama Pacifica Convention Center. It has been so exciting 2 days, and I really mean it. So during the past 2 days, you have made it very clear to me that the transition towards the restorative and regenerative model of the economy, which we call the circular economy, is not just inevitable, but it is already underway. It is in fact the only way how we can succeed in living within the planetary boundaries, not to overly reduce natural capacity, endanger living species, and destroy our climate. I often say that the global sustainability crisis we are encountering today has 3 dimensions: the climate crisis, the biodiversity crisis, and the overuse of natural resources crisis. But during these days, it has become very clear for me that there is also a 4th dimension we need to address, and that is the crisis of social inequality. So we must build a circular economy that is also fair and inclusive. And it is time for us to face the culprit of these crises, which is ever-growing consumption of natural raw materials and energy. And we should not only try to treat consequences, but we must address and cure the root cause itself. So, as we all know, the world was given a very strong wake-up call 2 weeks ago in the form of the special IPCC report on 1.5 degrees of global warming. And it is clear that the world will need almost a miracle to stay within the limit of this critical global warming. And the IPCC report listed some measures that the world needs to solve the climate crisis. And these measures include, for example, renewable energy, there is energy efficiency, afforestation, and also carbon capture. However, the missing solution in this remarkable report was the circular economy. It was not mentioned even once in the 38-page long policy recommendations. But if we can harness the full potential of the circular economy, including recycling, product material efficiency, sharing platforms, and new business models to transform our economies to become more sustainable and circular, we will have much better possibilities to succeed. The circular economy simply has to be embedded in all climate policies. And actually, I want to see that this gives us hope. And it is clear that the journey to the circular economy will be long. It might not be easy, and it might not be without any problems, but every single step forward matters. So indeed, every ton of material existing already in the society we can keep in circulation matters. And every species we can save in our natural environment matters. And every ton of CO2 that we can avoid entering the atmosphere need not to be captured in the future. So circular economy is a powerful force for solving the global sustainability crisis, and it can also be a source of well-being, prosperity, and economic growth. So for the last 2 days, we have been discussing here about the visions of what kind of world we want for ourselves, for our children, and for our grandchildren in the years to come. And I trust that many of us in the World Circular Economy Forum community have a dream that in the future circular economy we have adapted to ecological planetary boundaries. We have better, more inclusive societies where everyone, regardless whether a boy or a girl, man or woman, rich or poor, can enjoy the benefits of inclusive development. In this society, the well-being of people will not be dependent on how much we consume natural resources. In the circular economy, we can still consume, but differently. We will consume services rather than materials and products. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to close our event in Yokohama, but as was mentioned, the World Circular Economy Forums and our work will continue, hopefully together. In 2019, when Finland takes the presidency of the Council of the European Union, the World Circular Economy Forum will go back to Finland in June. So as you can see, we truly are recycling the World Circular Economy Forum back to Finland. And in 2020, the fourth World Circular Economy Forum is planned to be organized across the ocean in Canada. And I want to end by thanking you all who participated and gave an incredible contribution to the World Circular Economy Society. And particularly, I want to thank our distinguished co-organizers, the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, the Economic Research Institute for Asian and East Asia, the European Commission, the OECD, UNDP, UN Environment, the World Economic Forum Space Network, and our key partners, IGES and UNCDR. And my warmest thank you to the Ministry of the Environment of Japan. And it really has been a privilege to work with you. And I hope, and actually I am convinced, that our cooperation will continue also in the future. And of course, a warm thank you for the amazing teams from Ministry of Environment of Japan and Citra, who actually made this all happen. And thank you to our excellent moderators, Yukari and Pete. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm confident that our common movement will grow in size, reach, and significance. And I am most confident because of all of you who have been working so hard to make circular economy a reality all around the world. Without your courage and pioneering spirit, this monumental global economic, environmental, and social transformation would not and will not be possible. Ladies and gentlemen, the game is far from over, but we are picking up speed fast. So let's keep the wheels turning, and I am sure that we can do this. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Mari, thank you so much. And the wheels, no doubt, will keep turning, not least because although the main forum is at an end, there are breakout meetings, there are site visits tomorrow. I know at 5:45 this afternoon, if you want to further develop thoughts about the EU in a global context, there's a session that Daniel Clea is hosting there about CE services, so there's so much more to connect into. But for now, we are at an end. Goodness me, I've had a ball with you, Yukari. It's been a wonderful education for me, a great opportunity, and I feel we are a good partnership.
Yes,
eh?
and
fantastic.
Thank you very much to the audience, and also Peter,
Right.
you had the really, the good lead to, moderate this session. Oh, thank you very much indeed.
And I bet you've got some domestic announcements.
Yes. So it's a final announcement to the audience. First is that I think you have an interest in how to get the material used over 2 days forum, so that you can go to the site. I mean the www.WCEF2018.com. You can get the document used here over the 2 days forum available. So that is important information. And the second thing is, as Peter mentioned, that the side events, even though we finish this session, we finish World Circular Economy Forum now, but we have plenty of side events today and tomorrow. So especially in 15 minutes, we have a side event, as Peter mentioned, that on the third floor, you cannot miss it. So you can get the information about the side event at as you know, that with the WCEF app, so that you can go to the application. The last, which is the most important, is again, headset. Unfortunately, I have to say that quite a number of headsets are missing, so that please ensure that your handset is, the return to the staff at the entrance, please. So that is my final announcement.
Fantastic. And we hope to see many of you in Helsinki in 2019. In between that, let's make every day a World Circular Economy Day. Good luck, travel forwards, and be productive. Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.